What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm talking a little bit more about SEBEK. SEBEK pulled a really nice move, actually. Even though we're technically in a crypto bear market, SEBEK rose more than 30%. And yeah, I think that's worth looking into a little bit. So let's just grab some charts and see what happened. And yeah, once again, I will also remind you to please leave a like and subscribe. And if you want to, you can also leave a comment or a question, and I'll get to that as well. All right, let's get into the video. All right, so here we are at CoinMarketCap. The total crypto market cap is climbing a little bit again, which technically is a good thing, although it's not very noteworthy yet. Also still in extreme fear. It's been a long time since I've seen it this low, actually. Yeah, altcoin season index doesn't really matter at this point. And we're in a tiny bit of oversold territory, so I'd say there's definitely still room for us to go down further. But I think it's interesting to see some projects which have validity, basically, to see those perform against market sentiment. While everything is in extreme fear, we don't really expect 30% moves, but yet SEBEK did just that. So its market cap is still relatively tiny, $300 million market cap. Obviously a lot of money, but still in crypto market cap terms, it's small. It's not tiny, it's small. So it has room to go up, and considering it has very good fundamentals, like I expect it to go down, but I think it won't go down. Like either it disappears or it won't go down that much. Like, honestly, I expect this to be a little bit of a bottom for this token, somewhere around this area, like maybe 200, but still. I think it'll be a bottom, and I will grab the chart in a little bit as well why I think that. But yeah, other than that, fundamentals still good. Back to tiny price, big attitude, pumping plus 33%. So that is that candle right there, and it's not immediately crashing down either. So today it's also a green day for ZBCN. So I think that's very interesting to see, considering that Bitcoin basically, well, it did 0.5%, but Bitcoin is also majorly down on the week. I mean, yes, it's also a little green, but I mean, look at that. Look at that move. And I think it's interesting to see, basically, ZBCN, yes, it also has corrected down, but it's not really related to Bitcoin, at least not this move. So I think it's interesting to see that it is beating it by basically putting up projects, by growing its ecosystem. In the last video, I told everyone that basically ZBCN was released on my favorite exchange, which is a European exchange, which has a banking license and some insurances and proof of funds, proof of reserves. So it actually shows you a report that your assets are backed one-to-one. So very trustworthy exchange. I think it's the biggest one in Europe. It's called Bitvavo. I have a link to it in the description below. If you use that, you get the first 10,000 euros, or yeah, the first 10,000 euros you trade for free, so you don't pay fees on your trades, which can stack up. So I think that's a very generous way to trade at least your first 10k. And I like the exchange itself, so I always use it both as an on and off ramp as well, and I felt it's very stable. So I've used it to cash out a lot of crypto as well, and every single time, like, it normally takes up to 3 business days, and I always have it within a couple of hours, and then I always get my money back. So yeah, personally a big fan of that. You feel free to use that or not, that's completely up to you. But let's grab the chart. So I charted this a little bit. I think it's very cool to see that it's holding this level. It basically bounced off of that level, and it had that 30% move. And if we follow the trend line a little bit, like, we still have room to grow here. So considering if we use the band for a measure, let's say we see something like this. we could see a move similar to that. Somewhere around this is what I would expect to happen, unless we get some more bad news around crypto. Then technically all of crypto will go down. But if let's say Bitcoin goes sideways for a few weeks, I think this room is definitely here for SEBEK. And SEBEK is different as it is still a young and growing token. So if it gets some very positive news, it's very likely to spike. Also, its market cap is a lot smaller, so the percentages will be much more easily influenced. So, and I think that's apparent in this candle as well. So if it does sustain this and we keep this and it doesn't immediately retrace, which I don't think it is, because even today is almost over. So technically that's 2-3 green days in a row. I think a move like this can happen. Well, it's never a straight shot up, so I don't expect that to happen, but I don't know, somewhere around this area, which would technically say it is that level, it could be another 34% profit in it. Or at least somewhere around that area. It won't be, depending on where we hit that trend line. It's something what I would see to expect. And I think it's interesting that its volume candles aren't even that high. It's just a lot of buying power, especially compared to here. Obviously, these were much bigger candles as well, but I think a 30% move, or even more than a 30% move, let's see, from basically that bottom up and all the way up there, almost like a 55% move. I think that is crazy. That is a very large move. And I think that also warrants taking profits. Like if you manage to buy somewhere around this area, or you bought this little support level and the price shoots up that much, obviously there's people already taking profits around this area. But I think, like I said, I think it's very good to see a token basically counter Bitcoin a little bit like this, and to see that stuff it's putting out is actually working. Like it's not just a steady decline. There is also a lot of buying power on a token like this. And that's what I like about projects that have some actual validity behind them, as opposed to trading meme coins where I wouldn't be trusting this to go further up. If I was in it, I would just cash out everything and take it and run, basically. But for projects like this, which are actively building, I think it's very interesting to see. And like even after this, like the price could technically, let's say it does this move and we crash back down to this and we see basically this happen, and eventually it compresses, and that's when we get a reaction. So let's say we have that, extend that line a little bit. Let's say we see somewhere around this compression, and that would be March next year. And that's what I've been saying so far, like Q1, Q2, end of Q1, beginning of Q2, I expect a bigger move. And usually around that time, we see a move up. So technically, we could see a big breakout around that time. That is kind of what I expect to happen. It could do it earlier. Like we could see a little break above this as well, but then it'll have to retest it. And like I think this area is too choppy to give some solid support and resistance levels, because the volume is just crazy in there. So I normally look very closely to support and resistance levels, but right now I think a trend line in this is possibly more effective. And always when we see prices compressing like this, we either see a big move up or a big breakdown. So either way, I mean, we can profit off of both if we time our buys correctly, but only time can tell basically to see where this happens. But either way is fine, as long as we get a move, as long as we get a very big move on this. But for now, I'll have a look at what point I'm at with my average buy. I'm not 100% sure on that out of the top of my head, but maybe it's time to take a little bit of profits and basically wait for it to retest that level below, or maybe just hold it. It kind of depends how much profit I'm in at this point, but maybe wait out to see if tomorrow is going to be another green day where we see a bit more volume up. Yeah, that concludes this video basically. Let me know what you guys think, if you are heavily into ZBCN, if you have bought any ZBCN, or if you're just planning on holding it. I think right now is where your strategy matters the most during these markets, and yeah, basically waiting out to see what happens. All right, so yeah, I'm gonna close out this video. I'll see you all on the next one. If you like this video, please leave a like and subscribe. Other than that, feel free to leave a comment and let's talk. I'll see you on the next one.